Before we begin, this episode contains references to other episodes in Season 1 of Alchemy Investigations, and therefore may include some very, very, very light spoilers. Listener discretion is requested. Greetings, investigators. With you again is Ichabod M. Groster, lead dispatch for Alchemy Investigations, the realm's foremost private investigatory body and podcast. Tonight we find ourselves at the end of the first season of our endeavors, and as such we can look back to reflect on what we've accomplished and look forward to anticipate what mysteries remain. For my part, I wanted to take this opportunity to do two things. First and foremost, I wanted to thank you and all of the investigators out there who have spent the last few weeks and months listening and sharing, scrutinizing and questioning. I hope the dice were with you, and you found thrills, twists, and satisfying conclusions at your tables. Genuinely, it has been a great pleasure to serve as your dispatch and hear field reports from avid investigators across the realm. Secondly, I wanted to respond to a few questions sent to me by our colleagues out in the field through the arcane electronic mail service. Hopefully, these queries can illuminate the path forward for us all. Sent in to us by a few investigators, but I really did like the username Dungeons and Dumplings. When running these modules for my players, how much of the mystery can I change? You are permitted to change whatever you like that fits your story. The only thing to keep in mind is, can those changes be explained within the context of the podcast and all the player-facing materials? If it can, go for it. It's yours to change. You can even change big things, like character names if you want to. Just say that Ichabod got it wrong. I get things wrong from time to time. The only thing you want to avoid is getting caught where the podcast and all the player materials say one thing that's pretty important, and then you change that and can't explain it. Don't do that. Do everything else but that. Sent in from Amused Muse 0019, I am new to GMing, and I would like to start with an Alchemy Investigations mystery for my friends. What mystery should I start with? Well, first off, welcome. Welcome to the table. Secondly, to answer your specific question, I genuinely like the first episode, Where is My Sister? I think it's self-contained, I think it asks some pretty interesting questions, and I think it's very new player friendly. It also, perhaps more than any of the other mysteries, walks a balance between what is written on the page and what the GM is asked to develop themselves. An episode like Passenger Contingency really asks the GM to develop 80% of the player experience, but Where is My Sister? We're floating more like 50-50. Also, if you're available for some unsolicited advice, part of starting to GM is trusting yourself and your friends. Play with people who encourage you, and let them encourage you. And never forget, just because you're behind the screen doesn't mean you're not a player at the table. You are. You're just as valuable as any other player at the table. Sent in from Harako Horticulturalist, where can we find you on social media? Unfortunately, you cannot. I'm only permitted to serve one Eldritch Horror at a time, and unfortunately, my dance card is full. Sent in from the unfortunately named Corpse Mangler 42069, I want to make my own mysteries and share them. Where can I do this? As is stated in just about every part of every material for Alchemy Investigations, we are part of the Creative Commons movement. You can take this and mash it up and make it your own. You can make new Alchemy Investigations materials and share them with your friends and players. If this made an impact on you, we want you to go with it. That's the point. If you want to see more specifics about the nature of the Creative Commons license, you can find that on our website, alchemyinvestigations.com. But you already knew that. This concludes the question and answer portion of our evening, but one query remains. With Season 1 finished, what comes next? Well, we've been talking about that. On the one hand, there is merit to developing an entire Season 2 in secret and releasing it 1 week at a time, just like we did with Season 1. There are lots of mechanical reasons to do this, not the least of which being the omnipotent deity, algorithm, loves stuff like that. They love consistency. But we do not conduct our investigations for algorithm. We do it because we are at our hearts investigators. We chose to release Season 1 altogether because we wanted to show other investigators out there that we were serious, and that this was important to us. We wanted to create an immediate menu of options for you and your table. But now with that concluded, we're going to take a couple of weeks off. and then begin work on a new season, which, instead of being released all at once, will be released as we have them, as the mysteries dictate. If you would like to stay on the absolute bleeding edge of those mysteries and get them as soon as they come out, well, you know the ritual to make that happen. But if you just want to check back on the website from time to time, or when you need a mystery to plug into your game, or if you're just looking for an unnerving podcast to listen to on a long carriage ride, we'll be here for you, as long as you stay curious and stay investigating. Thank you for listening to this season of Alchemy Investigations, where we have uncovered hidden identities, revealed imposters, battled the unknown, and followed a series of clues to daring conclusions across the realm. For now, this has been Ichabod M. Groster for Season 1 of Alchemy Investigations. Farewell, investigators, and beware. Alchemy Investigations is produced at Elsebreak Labs and is hosted by Ichabod M. Groster. This episode and its related materials are released with absolutely no warranty nor support and are distributed under the Creative Commons Attribution NonCommercial ShareAlike 4.0 International License. If you are interested in learning more about tonight's mystery or want to explore others, please click the link in the description or visit us at our website, alchemyinvestigations.com. There, Ichabod will explain the resolution of this particular scenario and offer tips on how it might be run as a tabletop role-playing game one-shot or as part of a larger campaign in your next game night. Tonight's story, all names, characters, and incidents therein are works of fiction. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, structures, ideals, and/or products is intended, nor should be inferred. Alchemy Investigations is supremely thankful to our wide network of correspondents. And of course, thanks to you, dear investigators. Stay well and stay curious.